Good morning, everybody. Let's give them a few minutes to join. I just sent the link. Let's give them a few minutes to join, then we kick start today's session. For those of you who don't know, we are already in a trade. Just that the trade is pretty much in little profit. It's not like 20 pips. So, but then I have potential for, or this trade has potential. We currently 35 people on the stream. Let's get to at least 50, then we start so that people don't have me repeating myself when they come on a session. But pretty much this is the trade that I'm currently in though. So looking good. So far so good. I'm looking to add more positions. Definitely not at this level because I have potential. I believe the trade has potential today as well. But let's I'm charging a phone. Okay, let me just so currently in with two positions. Nothing so it's okay. It's in blues for now. That's what matters. But then the stop loss has been established. It's there for a reason. I'll just wait it out and see what goes on. We are currently 41 now, 41 viewers. Let's get to 50. 50, then we start. For us to get to 50 quickly, you know what to do. Kindly like this video. Like the live now. Like the live. It's gonna just recommend it to people. It's gonna recommend to people, then we can hit a 50 mark quickly. Then we start. All right, 53 views, 53. Anyway, good morning once again to everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Yet again, another Tuesday, and we are here for the usual business to come trade live together. We learn, we earn, and we grow together. This is our 12th episode, guys. Today I was checking the numbers and I realized that we've been doing this for 12 weeks straight, back to back. At this point, it's safe to say this is here to stay. I'm kind of glad I'm doing this because I get a lot of reviews in my DMs. Some people even want us to do this on a daily basis, but it's just not feasible at this stage of my life just yet. But as time goes on, I believe that I'll be able to impact you guys through other means as well. Okay. Anyway, right. So let me read a few comments. Then we jump into our technicals. We do fundamentals. We take questions. You know the usual vibes. And then if there's anything new as well, we'll continue. Once again, my name is Rickfx, aka the chef, and this is Chef Ricky reporting for duty. Why do I sound like I'm working at a radio station? anyway, anyway, that's just by the way. Let me read a few comments. Yobu Muhammad says hello G. Hello Muhammad, how are you doing? Good morning, Riches Wado. Good morning, they call Adam. Yes, so they call and Juliana is one of the people that won the free mentorship giveaway the last time. I don't know if I should run another giveaway today, but stay tuned to the end. Maybe I might just run a giveaway. I think Juliana is having an issues accessing the course. I think so. So I'm gonna sort that out after. I've been quite busy, but let's see how we do that. Good morning, Krobia. Good morning, Delroy Williams, Benjamin Tete. I see you, the Saito teacher. Juliana, I see you. Let's put some fire. Definitely, let's put some fire on the trade. Raphael Eshon, up and running, active, active, active. Dickens Masaba. Yes, we are reporting. I see you, Fee. I see you, Gamado Gilbert. Henry Bonnie. Good morning, Chef Ricky. I salute your, your discipline there is on point. Thank you. It's very, very necessary. It's very necessary to stay disciplined and consistent in any field. Juliana says, please, boss, kindly attend to us on the free mentorship. Yes, I will do that after the session, or even maybe on the session, I'll do that. Michael Elom, live from Kaswa. Shout out to Kaswa. Gabi Forest Community. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Robia is present. I see you. Fee says, Rick, you've got to take us through your view on what might happen on September 17th if you think rates will be cut. We'll delve into that. We'll delve into that. The data is even, the forecast is even out, but we'll go into that shortly. I mean, if you've been here in the previous sessions too, we spoke about the rate cuts. That is, quote unquote, looking to happen, especially this month. So we'll see. We'll talk about that too briefly. All right. Michael Elom, I see you. I see you, Michael Elom. Classic music. Abraham Ado. Right. So, as you guys know, with technicals, pretty much straightforward. I've been bullish on gold since forever. Last week I was bullish on gold. Last 2 weeks, but because my setup or the way I trade is more of intraday perspective, I'm able to still come in on the market on a daily basis to find good opportunities. So yesterday I got 2 good opportunities. I got the first sell. I got in on the sell. Now before I even do that, once again, for those who do not know, I'm currently in the trade for buy already. I took my entry here. I sent the coordinates, the stop loss, everything to the Telegram community. Okay, that is why I keep saying that it's important to join the community. Let me just paste it. Right. So I just posted a link there. I'm going to pin it. It's very, very important because that is where, if we are not on YouTube, that is where I will send the exact coordinates. So this trade, I got it around 3 a.m. already before we jump on a session at 4. So I sent it there. Even though we are not in much profit, I think we went as high as 36, almost 40 pips, but we're currently back to like 30 pips. I'm still very bullish on this trade, and that's what I'm in currently. My take profit one is somewhere around this point, the highs here, obviously due to technicals and also due to risk to reward. I'm risking about 60 pips on this, so it's only right that my take profit one will be around that region. Then take profit two, which is like my overall target for the day. I feel like gold should head towards the 3,700 mark psychological level. Yesterday we broke through the 3,650, and from this distance to this distance is about 500 pips. We've done over 400 pips already yesterday, and we had a little pullback. So hopefully that 400 pips or that remainder is covered today. We get to 3,700. Then we have another conversation on when next to expect gold. Now I'm bullish on gold overall. Fundamentals, both macro and economic projections, are pointing out to gold still rallying up. But you guys know that you can know the direction. It's an entirely different thing knowing the direction, and it's different getting the entries. and I'll be available to always give you guys the entries. And one thing I've also studied is that I like the fact that a lot of people have caught on through the live sessions, through the mentorship. Every blessed day, people send me trade setups. One person that is very consistent with that is the call, and I want to give you a props today as well. I think he has been able to pass his prop firm challenge that was last week, and this week already the week is looking good. He's probably up, I don't know, but I'm sure he'll update me after the session or probably update you on the live. But it's just I'm just glad to know that a lot of people are actually benefiting from such. Now, with the idea for the trade, it's a simple one. I see all of these points as a consolidation for a continuation. I was expecting the pullback to be a deep one. When I woke up, I was expecting it to probably come all the way down here before we buy. But I woke up to this price action, and I trade what I see, not what I want to see. So when I woke up, this was what I was getting, more of like I wouldn't call this a wedge because it's not falling. It's not, yeah. So it's more like it's straight, and I wouldn't call it a flag pattern too, even though it looks like one, because a flag pattern is usually shorter. It's straight and boxy, but it's usually shorter. So all I had to do was to just make sure that okay, this was the lowest level. Price was failing to break it throughout the night, the Asian session. You could tell the reaction right here, very strong. So immediately price went below this, came all the way up, what people like to call liquidity sweep, and we got this nice morning star. Even though it's not the most perfect morning star, it's quite sizable. And then I jumped in for the buy. I put my stop loss below the range, and then as you guys do it, that's what is going on here. Now let's see what the higher time frame has for us, which is when you look at 1 hour and the rest, you can clearly tell that we just had like a massive impulse, all of this being a correction which broke out yesterday. That's why I'm also expecting it for this one to also continue, because it's consolidated for a while. About let me see. Okay, let me just put this one here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For like a whole week, it was consolidating in this zone, and then it broke out yesterday. So I'm expecting to just keep going some more. But tomorrow is a very crucial day for the week. It's very crucial. Tomorrow might have us even today, you never know, have us breaking these levels. But tomorrow will be a major volume in the market because of the interest rate that's going to be announced. Anyway, yesterday's setup was quite simple. The first one was this sell here. So I caught this sell in the morning, sent it to my VIP people somewhere around here to this point. So that was the 100 pips that we caught. Understand? My take profit 2 was actually this level, but I didn't get there. It was few pips away, but it smashed take profit 1. And if you guys know how I manage my trades, this is also a win trade as well. Then I had this level here being my highest level. So now when price was consolidating, I saw other traders come in. They caught the buy somewhere around here, which was very, very good, excellent. But then I came in the market when we had this nice breakout. That's when I jumped in, and then from there, price never looked back. And let me show you guys another entry that you could have jumped in on again. That's after I broke this level. You see this highest point here? It did this thing there as well. It did a nice break every test there as well. Might not be clear on the 50 minutes, but this is where the lower time from like the 5 minutes comes in. You know, when the trend is very, very strong, all you have to do is to mark some zones, and then you can scalp on much lower time frames using same market structure concept. That is provided the trend is very strong. If not that, the lower time frames don't hold that much. The much lower ones I'm talking about, like 1 minute and the rest, will not hold that much. They will mess you up. But this is gold. Gold, that is one reason why I like gold as well. It's quite volatile. If you are wrong, you're going to know very fast. And if you are right too, you're going to be rewarded very, very fast. This trade is currently still stalling around, sorry. So there's nothing much that I can do than to just leave it and see how it plays out. Maybe we're going to get volume in the London session to push it, and then we're good. But what matters is that I found my entry, put my stop loss, and then we are riding. How many of you in the live session are in the community? Number one. Number two, how many of you have taken the trade? If you've taken the trade, or if you're in the trade with me, let me know in the comment section now. Guys, we currently have 65 viewers here, and our likes are 18. Let's make sure that every single person likes this video, this live session now. It's gonna help the algo push it, and then yeah. So please, a great. Yeah, I see a lot of people in the trade. Not in the trade, just a complete analysis. Okay, sir. Over to you. I'm being six yesterday. Yes, good. Yesterday I had a nice opportunity. So he's probably swinging. The gentleman who has been in since yesterday is probably swinging, which is good. I check for here. Okay, we are active. Yes, in the trade giddy. Nice, nice. Why do I seem to get cold every Tuesday morning? What's going on? Anyway, it's better than last week. Right, so that is it basically about the technicals. It's pretty much straightforward. With fundamentals, there's one big event coming this week. Today we have retail sales or core retail sales. It basically like retail, it measures retail sales. Core retail sales measures all retail sales in the month, except the auto industry. So let me just recheck properly. Changing the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles, exactly. So it's just to this one is for everybody, including automobiles. This one is excluding automobiles. It's retail sales. So obviously, the more sales, the higher the number, the better it is for the economy. And they are expecting retail sales or core retail sales, the one excluding the automobiles, to actually increase, but they're expecting retail sales to drop from 0.5 to 0.2. Pretty much okay. The American economy is overall not really doing well. So we've been saying this for like 3 weeks now. And that's one of the reasons why everybody is expecting a rate cut. Even in Jerome Powell's speech last month, there were hints of a rate cut, but it's quite conflicting. We don't know just yet. So if you check very well, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, 6 p.m., we have the federal funds rate, which is like the interest rate of the US, and you can clearly tell the forecast. So it used to be 4.5. They're expecting it. They're expecting to cut rate to what? 4.25%, like cut rate by 25 basis point. Yes, so that is the whole thing everybody's talking about. That hey, we're trying to reduce our inflation. Sorry, we're trying to reduce the interest rate. You know, they were using the interest rate to battle inflation by increasing the interest rates to make savings attractive, to make a lot of people save their money. But yeah, exactly, save their money or put money from the system to fight inflation. They are doing so well, but they are not done. But once again, this thing they are doing was hurting their job economy or labor market, especially because interest rates, as I keep saying it over and over again, interest rates is a double-edged sword. It makes savings attractive and it makes borrowing expensive. So if you are saving with the banks, you're going to get good interest rates on your returns or returns on your money. But if you are borrowing, it means that you're also going to be paying more. And it is corporations that borrow more. Businesses need loans to expand. So because cost of borrowing became expensive, they were not borrowing more, they were not expanding, thereby not creating more jobs. So it's like the whole the economy, managing the economy is like, you mix here some more, you mix here some more, you mix here some more, so that everything will run profit. Otherwise, the whole engine is going to break down. So right now, their major concern is how to increase their jobs in the US, and that's how come everybody now is speculating that they're going to cut the rate. They're not going to make it drop like all the way down. They're going to cut it bit by bit. But 25 basis points is quite huge. But another thing that I'm suspecting is that this could be priced in, especially if the actual comes and is 4.25. There's going to be effects on the market, but it might not be more because they already are expecting a rate cut. But let's say the cut goes below 4.25%, that's going to cause chaotic movements on the market. That's for people who even trade GBP, USD, and the rest. But for us who are even trading gold, we are already experiencing the volatility already. Yesterday, 400 pips, over 400 to 500 pips on gold alone. So it only gets better if things even play out in our way. We're just going to get more aggressive buys. So this is one of the things to look out for. The other one is last week, I think, was it Friday or Thursday, one of them, where Israel pulled a fast one on the Hamas leaders when they were meeting in Qatar, high security meeting. When I checked this morning, I think as at the time the casualty happened, they had not recorded any like casualty, like death or anything. But I was checking this morning before the live session, and I realized that some people were killed in the blast. But I think the main man, which is like the leader of the Hamas, this thing, was actually not killed. So it looks like everything is balanced. But the it's a dicey one because they are currently in a ceasefire. So it's like two people are fighting. Now everybody's calm at the moment in talks, negotiating. Then one person goes to slap somebody again. What do you think is going to happen? So that's where we are. Everybody's like, okay, is there going to be a retaliation? Is there going to be, So that one too is also in the mix, and then this is also there. But all in all, overall, everything is pointing to gold being that pair that's going to be what bullish. And if you trade gold like me, all you have to do is to now master your technicals, look for sweet entry spots, and then you feast. Trust me, gold is going to make a lot of money in this period. So be attentive, be smart, be daring on the markets, and then you are gonna. Oh, I think we hit 40 pips here. I didn't even check it to announce. 1 minute. Let me announce before we continue. Very important. The trade has potential. It still has good potential today. So I'm not really phased about it. Let's see how it goes. So that is it. That is my perspective basically for technicals and then for fundamentals. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything that you would like to know, kindly drop it in the comment section. I'll answer a few questions. Hey, oh my soul. This whole name seems like never before. You guys, I see Rick and no chef. The guys are inside that. I beg you, insider there. That's like a strong one. I mean, I wish I was an insider, but we're all learning. We're learning the market. See proper information, only here. Rick is really the good for me. Thank you, guys. Now is the time for you to drop in your questions. Today, we have room for a lot of room for that. Which book do you suggest for technical analysis? I cannot suggest one book, but there's this book that Top K used to suggest a lot back in the day. I think it has all like the basis of it's an old book though, but it has like the basis of technical analysis and whatnot. I personally have not read that book from cover to cover because I've like have my technicals on point. But can somebody just remind me of this title? Something analysis of stock trends or so. Anyway, when I do find the title, I'll put it in the community or I'll put it here as time goes on. That's number one. Then number two, if you want modern day technical analysis, the best place is YouTube first before books. Most of the books are old, and most of the books were written around the time where those things, the basic, don't get me wrong, the basics and fundamentals are still there, like market structure, support and resistance. Those ones powerful, but they were really writing more about um, indicators like MAs, MACDs, Bollinger Bands, etc., than price action, like Japanese candlesticks and the rest. Because at that time that the books were being written, those were the predominant systems that people used to trade. So you find more books on that, unless of course there are modern books on this, which I do not know about. But this is my guideline to you when it comes to um, the book. Kata Samuel, sorry, he's saying that can someone still enter the buy? Yes, you can enter the buy, but you know that at this point you're entering at your own risk because we are currently like 30 pips in already. Entry is very important. Entry and exit in the trade very important. Why? Because of where you are going to put your stop loss, your risk, and everything. If you enter here right now, for this trade to be safe, you're supposed to put your stop loss where it is minus. And my own for my entry already is 60 pips. So if you enter here, where are you going to put your stop loss? Below here. That's one way. Number two, or the other way, is to actually wait for price to give you a new entry. So one of the entries that I'll be looking out for is unless price does like some minor market structure move in between here, I'll be looking at if price breaks this level, then I jump in or I add another entry, because at this point, this is my resistance that has been broken. So the safer one would be like a break, retest, and then jump in. But sometimes too, because of how strong the volume will be, when it breaks, it never retests and then it keeps going. So I will look for a new entry somewhere around here when this breakout occurs. Other than that, I will pray that price will find its way back down again. Then I'll jump in when I get confirmation. But that prayer will not work because I'm also in the trade and I'm also praying that price doesn't go back down and it continues going up. Anyway. Oh, I see. I think the boys are here. Somebody, technical analysis of stock trend. Exactly. That's the title of the book. So go look for that book and read. Um a three-dimensional approach to forex trading by Anna Cullen. Really? I've not read that book. I'll check it out. Then bring the book. The boys are too good. Yes. My boys are on top of their game. They are sharp. Which trading are you trading? Time frame are you trading on? M15. 15 minutes time frame. 15 minutes time frame. Wow. This trade is moving too slow for my liking. I mean, at this point, we probably are waiting for London. So we just set our guns and then we prepare ourselves for the push. You singing, I pray. Anyway, I was just checking the what we have. Still blue, but not an encouraging blue. I need more blues. I need some plenty money on the table. Anyway, guys, let's keep it running. Let's keep it running. If you're here, you're not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel now. Make sure you like this video. It's gonna help it reach out to more people. Um, pretty much that's pretty much what I have for you guys this morning with regards to technicals and then fundamentals. With regards to, unless of course you guys have any more questions for me, we might. Or I'm saying something. Adding more positions is what I want to hear. when you add when you add more positions, does it mean you divide your lot size by the number of positions in order to maintain your risk? If if the position you're adding is still around your original entry price, then it's two things. Either you're dividing your lot sizes to make room for your risk, or you just use one lot size. When I talk about adding positions, I'm talking about adding positions at different points in the trade because entry, I see new entry opportunities. More or less like opportunities that I probably would have taken if I was not already in the trade. Do you get what I mean? So adding positions for me is quite strategic. I'll have to wait. I see a new entry and then I jump in. And most times before I even do that, you realize that this trade will be in profit. So I would have moved this stop loss to probably break even. Then at that point, the trade is risk free. So me even taking new opportunities is me risking my initial me putting my initial risk on the table again. You understand? So it's not by adding positions blindly. If it's the other way around, then it's just better to just split your risk. Let's say you wanted to take a total of 5 lots. So you started with like one lot, and then you're just gauging and you're adding one lot, one lot, one lot. That one is different. It's different from the kind of adding position I'm talking about. Right? Okay. Um Boss is trading only good for a beginner. Yes, I don't see anything wrong with that. Once as a beginner, you're following your rules of trading. That's the most important thing. It's the rules. Follow your rules, your risk management, and understand that because you're a beginner, you're not learning. So take it easy. Take the risk easy. Don't go too hard just yet. Normal lot sizes, just to learn the market, adapt, see the fluidity of the market. Yeah, so I recommend trading gold as a beginner any day, anytime. By closing partials, will it affect your risk to reward ratio? Yes, it will affect it in a way because let's say your original target is here and your risk is 60 pips. Your reward is this is a risk to reward of 1:3. So let's say your risk, if you put one lot, $600 to make um $1,800 or almost $2,000. So if provided you hold your initial lot size to the end, that's when you're going to make the times three of that risk. But immediately you close part of it, immediately you close part of it, you've already altered your final profits because you're taking some now. That's the whole idea. So yes, it's going to affect your risk to reward ratio, but also in the grand scheme of things, it's going to help you anyway. It's not as if it's going to affect your risk to reward ratio, like it's going to make your statistics look bad. No, that will just queue. You're not going to get that perfect. I risk one, I get three. That math that you always do. If I start with $500 and I risk, I'm taking trades of 1:3 risk to reward ratios only. If I lose one if I lose two and I win one, I'll make back my loss and profit. That math might not work out to the dot, but if you have a good win rate, you're taking partials and you're managing your trade, overall you still be profitable. So will it affect your risk to reward? Yes, but will it affect it in a very I said grand scheme of things. Scheme. Come on, man. Anyway, but back to the gentleman, you understand what I was explaining with that. So pretty much that's pretty much it with the risk to reward and taking partials and whatnot. Any other questions, guys? That's not what we heard. If that's not what you heard, then I think you have to go and see your doctor today. Go and check your ears. Or maybe buy new speakers. Because that's not what I said. Guys, let's keep the questions coming. Because as I said, I'm pretty much done with my analysis and fundamental perspectives for today. So unless of course we have more questions. Top case, yeah, that's true. I don't know. This is not Instagram live. I don't know how to make Top K jump on this call right now so that he can bless you guys with some deep macro perspectives and you guys will bombard him with every question. As a matter of fact, I think I can make him type. So, guys, if you have any questions for Top K, leave it in the comment section now. He's going to type and respond. I think he has a lot of energy this morning. Go Top K, go Top K. Go Top K. Guys, leave your questions for him. Yes, we have a question. What's your question? What's the question, Mr. Man? Mr. Investor? Seeing some questions already. Or Fakojo, what do you see ahead of the rates release? If I give you $50, can you flip it to 5? Then after we share 50-50. Me, I should flip it to 5 million. Then after that, we should share 50-50 on top again. Please, if I can flip $50 to 5 million, I don't need your $50. I'll flip my own $50. God is good. trying to settle something here. Let me read more. With let me see what's going on here. Could you just give me the best question? Or is Kojo bullish too, or still observing the market? He has been bullish since yesterday. For for the week, he's bullish. Top K, what was the reason behind the good call yesterday? He's gonna. I'm trying to bring him on the stream soon so that he answer all these questions. Okay. So let me see something. I think I'm making headway. Mm-mm-mm. Is it a good idea not to close partials? Okay, Juliana, you have an answer. Top case says the thing is gold is bullish for the longest of time. The real question is not if it's bullish or not, but when to enter. Exactly when to enter. Your precision, and that is where the experts come in. Okay. I think the trade is also moving, right? Mm, pretty decent. I think we are now in some, but it's still small, $172. You know, but let's be grateful and hopeful. Hopefully, it shoots up. So I've been able to. If top case here, kindly check your. Right, guys. Let's continue whilst we try to get top K on the stream. Um, do you think it is wise if this trade goes well to? Do you think it is wise if this trade goes well to keep holding to 4,000? Do I think it is wise? I mean, it to be wise. The question is always, are you ready to hold? I was about to say the same thing when Tom gave me the answer. So Juliana, the answer is in the comment section. The idolo of Africa is from Wall Street. I remember when he called 3.5K on gold, and I watched it play out and got a coupon crates on there. He the man. Yeah, I remember that. I'm sure on Twitter, right? He does that. Guys, I think we are in some good profits so far. Oh, still 40 pips. But my screen has changed at least. You can currently see some $200 floating. Mm. Whoa, whoa, guys. We're in profits. We're in some good profits. We almost 50 pips. Say push. Drop some fire emojis. Drop some fire emojis now. Drop some fire emojis now. Let this trade cook. Let it cook. Let it cook. Um let me do small video, okay? Currently in a trade with the community. 50 pips running. Making money was a long story. Anyway. Um so what is it, Atasa? Oh, okay. I've seen it now. I don't know if you can hear me.
Why you catch me off guard like that?
Wow. Now the sound is also volume is up.
Check
Um
your video because, like, your video, I can't see your side of the video here.
try to fix the sound now because now I can see you, but I'm trying to now check the.
Okay, I'll wait.
Okay, I think the the rest of you can actually hear him. They can actually hear you. It is me that I cannot hear you. So let me fix that one.
Wait, are the rest of you saying you can hear me? Can you guys actually like hear me? Those of you that are tuned in and listening, can you hear me? Because I can hear Rick, but he can't hear me. Oh, you guys can hear me. Let's say something a little bit stupid about him. He's not even gonna know what we're talking about. He got his big head like mango. All of you laugh. Just keep laughing in the comments. He's just gonna wonder why are you guys laughing?
You're roasting me. I'm sure you're roasting me. I'll hear you soon. Don't worry. I can tell from your reactions that you're having a field day. Huh?
The sad part is he has no idea what. Oh wow. We're waiting for you. He's under pressure to find the sound now.
Cool down, relax. Relax. What you say, I cannot hear also. Whether are roasting me or not, I don't know. I don't care because I can hear you.
Okay, you guys were asking serious questions, by the way. He's so confused.
I have my
Let me
informants. My
answer
informants are giving me information though. I'm hearing that
let me,
you're going hard, huh? Mm.
let me answer some of your questions. Some of you are asking me, you're asking me what has been my macro call on gold. There's a lot of things actually going on globally, and I've been doing like a ton of research on gold, even though like generally you don't need to. But the point is that what we're kind of having currently is more of a FOMO. And the FOMO is not only revolving around the retail space, but also the investors, the institutional investors. There's been quite a lot of diversification into gold recently. So many, mutual funds, hedge funds, professional investors looking into acquiring and currently still acquiring a lot of gold. So when you have situations like that as a trader, it's important that you not just get excited about the hype and then just keep going and going and going. No, 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 when to stop. So this is when you start making projections and putting together models to tell you a potential peak. The word is potential, because you're not even certain if it's going to peak or not. But that way, you guard your greed. If there's one thing that really moves the market, and then you've heard it over and over, then you know that is what greed and fear, right? Apart from all the fundamentals and then all the technicals that sorry play a role in price movement, in volatility, Then one thing that most people almost always leave out is greed and fear. So every trader, once there's like hay in the market, everybody's making a lot of money. One thing you should be extremely wary about and start guarding against is greed and fear. You rightly heard the lady asking me, she's Juliana, asking me that if this trade goes well, should I hold on to 4,000? I'm not saying she's greedy, but that's like a potential characteristic of how greed creeps in, because you're suddenly thinking that I could potentially like make a big bag here. So why should I just make 50 pips or 100 pips and then and close for the day or close for the week? I want to hold it. The same way you're thinking is the same way others are also thinking, because they saw yesterday's move and it went so well, over 400 pips. And it's like, I want to get in. So there's like a lot of people just FOMO, buying into it. And that just could be the point where everything just peaks and suddenly turns. And you'd have those that were late into the party stuck at the top, and then literally being liquidated. So um in general perspective, yes, gold is macro bullish, and there's so many factors that is encouraging that I cannot even go through all the factors. You know, like for the last year, let's say like last 2 years, I was heavily going on a deep, full on scope with gold and its research and its macro logics, right? And sometimes you think that, oh, the drivers of gold fundamentally just about the interest rate
Don't worry, I'm
and
almost there. I'm almost there.
you think that the fundamental drivers of gold is interest rate and inflation and all of that, which may seem so, right? Which used to be what it was for me. And then when I started that, okay, like which was like last 2 years, as I'm saying, I wanted to like dive deep on gold. There was a point where I felt like deleting literally every instrument on my chart and then just watching gold, and I've done that so many times. Sometimes I just forget about all the other pairs. I come back and watch a few of the ones that I love and then delete them again. I'm just in between a moment of love and hate with gold, but the point I'm driving at is that during those time, when I started doing that research, is when I really saw how in depth, how deep down it goes with trying to understand gold as a whole. Like if you really want to understand gold, I have my notebook somewhere around here, my what's the name, my journal around here. I'll look for it and share with you some of like the logics. Somebody's asking me what was the rationale behind your macro call. I'll address that, right? I'll address that. But if you get what I'm trying to say, like I thought, okay, it's just okay, basic fundamentals, US interest rate, what and what and what. That will just drive good until, like I said, I decided that I want to pay attention to gold. I want to go deep. I abandoned that project because it became overwhelming. The information was just too much, and I had so much going on. My headspace was full. So it was just about, let's say, 3 or 4 months ago again that I decided I am going to be researching. Why is Rick laughing? And I said I'm going to be like researching, or picking up that project again, and so I'm back on it now, uncovering all the informations that are driving gold and all of that. And it's still a lot. It's still a lot of information. It's still a lot of like data to unravel. So with the person that asked the question about my macro perspective on gold, right? Where is that question again? Somewhere just above here. Rationale behind the macro call. Like I said, I just knew that like gold was going to be bullish, right? And yesterday, so many people saw potential to take brief short trades in the market, but I knew that that was not really like the best trade for the day. You kind of realize that Rick went short. I also went short, closed out on my short position, and then didn't enter again. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go for the best part of the day, which is like long. And it took a while, And if you get what I mean. Yesterday I was having that conversation with Rick. We have a lot of chat conversations, very deep chat conversations behind the scenes, even without you guys knowing. So when he saw that short potential, he took it, he rode it, giving him about what 90 to 100 pips. I was telling him that like the logic around the market, it kind of serves everybody's strategy or everybody's day, but the real takeaway is that like how far can you go? And then the another aspect of the takeaway is that are you really going with a dominant trend? Because yes, there's bit of iterations, bit of laggings, bit of, pullbacks that will make you that quick 30 pips, quick 40 pips, quick 50 pips in the wrong direction. And it's still money anyway, But if you have that patience, you stay through the pain, and then you're able to tap into the right direction, then guess what happens? That's where you end up scoring that 300 pips, 400 pips, 500 pips, and you can see from if you're in my community, for those of you that are on this space, you can see how confident I was that we have to go up. So the macro logics were in alignment, right? We can go into that, the interest rate cuts, the low job rates that US also announced. Like there's just a lot of lineup of fundamental that I could piece up. But if you look at the question that Juliana asked, like, can you just based on that fundamentals and say, okay, I'm going to buy here? No, right? Fundamental will give you the long-term directional bias, right? The perspective to expect, but what will make you take that action, that trigger point, is um Rick listening from the other phone is a funny thing. What will make you take that trigger point is the technicals, because the technicals will let you know the timings in the market. The technicals is what will let you know that this is the right time. This is the right time to get into the market or stay away. And also not just about the right time to get into or stay away, but also like the stop loss and potential take profit to expect. You get what I mean? So yes, the technical played a crucial role in determining my strong bias for the day. If Rick switches, maybe Rick, you should do it. For because I don't know, I don't know if I can share my screen here, but like if he
For
just I use the
illustration of
4
your screen, eh?
yeah illustration on my screen. I used the 4 hour yesterday, predominantly for that analysis, even though I was also tracking it on the 15 minute as well, because everything was just pointing out so bullish on the 4 hour. I'm like literally watching it here. And you can see that triangular pattern that was literally glaring and screaming buy. That pattern was screaming buy yesterday, and while we were waiting for that whole morning when Rick had already, squeezed out his 100 pips from gold, one key thing that he said, which I know, but subconsciously also had to ring a bell in my mind was that, because what if the big move you're waiting for was going to happen in New York Open? Now if you take the 15-minute chart, right? Just start from where the Asian session opened, right? Depending on your time zone, and divide that chart into 3 equal halves. Then you have the Asian session, the London session, and then the New York session, right? Rick, you need to show your people that perspective in the market as well, because you're always like marking up on the 15 minutes. So just use your vertical lines to just like dissect that intersection for them to see. And then what it will do for you guys, it will change your perspective on which um, um, trading session usually does the magic for you. Which trading session usually does. Let's see, what's Rick saying about the sound again? Well, I think I've seen the screen thing here, though. let me see. Maybe let me explore it. I was just running away from sharing my screen because I have a lot of things on my screen, and sometimes not everything that. What if I go and open the wrong thing? Or if this morning I have got some some hot things going on here. But anyway, let me close some tabs. You know how you do those things. You always have to close some tabs first. Let me see. Trading view. Share. How can I share now? Okay. Let me see if it works. Rick, I'm sharing my screen. Does that mean that you have to like unshare your screen or what? Ricky, I don't know. It's like Rick needs to be in. Rick needs to be able to like coordinate it in a way that favors him. If he's able to figure it out, then it should be good for me to like share some perspectives for you. Did Rick find it out? I don't know why he can't hear me from here, which is so funny. I'm sharing my screen now, so if he's able to allow it, then I'll walk you guys through. I'll walk you guys through it.
I'm working on it, guys.
Work hard.
We are working on it.
Work hard, Ricky. Work hard. I'm doing an audio voice recording for him on WhatsApp. Work hard, my boy. Work hard.
Oh, I'm almost there. Don't worry. Guess it's not assigned to a
That is funny
source.
because I can hear him directly from here. Anyway, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It's the first time, having a collaboration. So
Oh, okay. Are you seeing now?
I don't know if I can see. I can't even see your video in the first place. But I see the chat. Yes, I think they see my chat. Let me see. Let me see if it's working. Okay.
Yeah, no, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. So this was like literally what I was looking at, right? In fact, the way it's getting interesting. Let me let the my community members also join.
Guys, as you're joining, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Very, very important.
That is Rick. That is Rick happy. Somebody's asking, can we see top case chart? So what you're actually seeing right now is my chart. It's not Rick's chart anymore because we kind of have so many similarities in the way our chart is represented. So yes, what you're seeing now is my chart, not Rick's. So yes, like I'm saying, this was how I was seeing the market for the most part of yesterday, right? Like this. This was how I was literally seeing the market, right? So in the morning, we're obviously like watching it on the lower time frame, 15 minutes, right? So um if you watch here like this was just around where Rick got the short position, right? And it's a bit of a contrarian entry, but it played out anyway. You get what I mean? And that's based off like some very tiny details. The one that I'm asking that he opens up and even show you guys, open your mind to it, because like this line that I have here, right? This vertical, I mean, horizontal line that I have here, right? It basically is sitting exactly on yesterday's Asian high, right? It's basically sitting on yesterday's Asian high, right? And then so this was like his setup for yesterday, right? Or our setup for yesterday, right? Just to catch a quick intraday shot for yesterday, right? Which is like if I move this bar, um, a few bit of movement down there, you kind of enjoy the good part of it, all the way to here. You get me? And this is where if you've not closed your position, then you get the market like literally disrupting and coming heavily against you. So remember, like that enjoyment is in the red zone of like a swing trader's stop loss zone. You get what I mean? And while it was looking like this, I was still seeing it from this perspective, right? And if you look at it from this perspective, right, let me zoom in the candle clearly so that you see it even much better, right? If you look at it from this perspective, what do you observe? You see this huge bearish candle, right? Then we have this huge bullish candle. Then we have this bearish candle, which eventually closed as quote unquote a bullish candle, but in terms of candlestick patterns, you call it the doji, right? Some people even go further to call it the dragonfly, right? But the real question lies around if you really understand the implication of that candle. If you really understand the real movement of that candle. Let me give you a good insight into it, right? Maybe I should remove the risk to reward tool for now so that it becomes even much clearer, right? If you see movement like this, right, it's two things that happen. First, the market opened here because that's where the previous one closed. Sometimes most of you do not pay attention to like the real meaning of the body of the candles. It's like, okay, you just learned trading and then you know that blue means bearish candle, black means bearish candle, blue means bullish candle. That's all. No, you have to sometimes take that time to understand the anatomy of the candle. So here, we have the open, close, high, low, and so close was here, and the next candle came. When the next candle came, that becomes the next candle's open, right? The next candle's open, as you can clearly see, came down first, right? And after coming down, then it went back up to close here. So the next candle kind of had two wave of movement, right? If you clearly see from here, down first, then up, right? Now let's inspect that down and then that up. and then you see something, right? This zone here, this zone that I've just marked here. Let me make the color extra lighter, right? Yeah. Now let's go to, let's say, the 15 minute, right? So if you go to the 15 minute, we start from here, right? Because that's where the next candle came. This is the down, right? Now, if I go up like this, then this is the up, right? So that candle that you're seeing on the 4 hour, that is looking like what's the name? That's looking like a wick on the downside. Is just what happened on the lower time from the 15 minute as what a zigzag, push down and then push up. All right. So you could be so happy about trading, that intraday 15-minute movement, which just like made you a pip from here to here. And it's a good pip because it's good, which is like, let's say 90 pips, 100 pips, for the day. And then you're probably like done, for that matter, right? But now if you come to like the 4 hour, then it's like your whole day just revolved around the week. It's not like it's a bad thing, it's a good thing. At the end of the day, it's profit you just made, and we're all looking for money, right? But for me, where it takes turn to a different scope is the fact that while I am playing that intraday game, looking at that small movement within the day, I'm also looking at the bigger picture, And then if you look at the bigger picture, look at it from here, right? Look at it from here. Why most of you miss out on huge wild swings in the market is because you're also always fixated in the smaller details without somewhat paying some little bit of attention to the bigger picture. So if I come to this and then you see it on the daily time frame, right? What do you observe on the daily? You see that what we have like 1, 2, 3 here, right? In fact, if I go on the weekly, then it becomes even more condensed, but it will not give us a real price action. So let's go to like the daily so that we see it properly. What do you observe? See here, let me come down before that point. You realize that what gold was in a huge swing, got to that point and formed that triangular pattern and then broke out of it and then started rallying up. So the somebody said the live stream is paused. I'm probably sure it's the person's internet. So the point here is that if you look at this pattern right here, right, it's so huge, and so you don't expect that the resultant effect, which is like the breakout here, was going to be like a small movement. No. And that's how come you have it being like this wild swings that was going here. And this wild swings, right, it was let's say what's the right word that I want to even use, in most simplest term, influenced, right, by NFP data, non-farm payroll that was released at the beginning of this month, right? And if you go, let's say, to the 1 hour, right, and then you watch here, and then you check this date here, right? You see this date here. You see this one here. That's what 1st August 2025, and that was a Friday. And when our NFTs released, first Friday of the month. And so when NFP came, guess what? It pushed price up and went all the way to this zone, right? But as with the market, it knows that all the time it's going to what? Get a lot of traders soaked in, especially during like a consolidation period like this, right? A lot of traders soaked in here, so many orders, right? Because everybody's thinking, okay, the NFP data, the market will give that instant reaction, get a lot of traders to continue buying, along the day. And all of this that I'm saying, right, is so deep and it's so like, how do I even put it? Manipulative. And so you have to be a contrarian to see things in the way that I'm explaining, even though I'm explaining them on a lighter note, right? Because the NFP came, it pushed price up, and then the market closed for the week, right? Guess what? The next week, the market knows that a lot of traders are going to be looking to short because they think that this is a huge spike and then the market should come down, right? And I have so many of you here who would normally try even shorting the market after a huge spike like this, but you're giving a disregard to the fundamental that is really backing, that huge move there. That's why for me, it's easy for me to make money during news announcement, because once I see that the data is hugely skewed off, when I say hugely skewed off, it means that, let's say, non-farm payroll job announcement or new jobs created was, let's say, 230,000 for the previous month, and then the expectation was that even this month the new jobs would be, let's say, 200,000, and suddenly you come to announce 14,000. That's a skew off from the norm. So at that point, there's no way you expect that the market is going to come down. Yes, it may just do some bit of whipsaws, but it will definitely continue, and it did continue. And like I said, from a macro perspective, go stuck here. Got a lot of people, going long, going long, thinking this thing is going to break out, right? Even me, right? I got trapped here, right? Even me, I got trapped here. And then what happened? We had like that sudden push on the downside, and it was not just 1 week, 2 weeks, right? But I think that it was doing that because it still knew that what there was going to be the CPI also coming along, right? And then other fundamentals. And then market always knows, like all these prices, they are always like priced in on the data, right? So coupled with CPI announcement, right? What do we have? Like that huge sudden rally. But while that rally is happening and you're just stuck in the lower.
Guys, I think top case, either his internet or something has. Wait, I'm finding out what's happening, but I'm sure it's his internet. I'll bring him back on as soon as possible. Anyway, now that you're here, kindly wait. I'm going to bring him back as soon as possible. Then we continue with the session. Okay. He's gonna come back. I'm plugging him back right now. We'll solve it quickly. But kindly like this video, share it with your people so that they come on board and come watch and enjoy the lessons. Also, please do us a favor. Let's subscribe to the channel now. We are currently about 328 viewers here. We need to hit. Oh, Top K can hear me. It means that you are not. I don't know what's going on because everybody else cannot hear you. They are not. They are not. You are not on the live right now. So what can happen is try and re-click the. Guys, hold on. Let me just solve this thing. Hold on, just a minute. It's gonna be here soon. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay, now try sharing your screen again because now we can see your video.
Okay. Okay, I'm sharing now. Guys, forgive my internet here in Dubai, right? Because something crazy happened, and then like it messed up the whole UAE's internet system.
Share your screen again.
I'm actually sharing.
But can you guys see his video now? Like, I mean, his video indicates in the comment section.
I'm actually sharing my screen.
Okay. Right. So video is working. We just need the sharing of screen to work. That's all then. We're back. Right. I think we are fully active now.
Forgive my internet, guys. It's Dubai things. I don't know what's going on. It's been going on for like 2 weeks now. Apparently, they said like there was a cable break, what under the sea. So if you're around UAE, you know how it's been going. But yeah, let's continue from where I ended. So I'm like, while you have all of that going on, you tend to miss out on the bigger picture, which is like this huge triangular pattern, and then eventually it breaks out and then it goes or it takes off like that, right? Now, the thing with trading, right? And I've said this times without numbers. It doesn't matter if you're using order blocks, it doesn't matter if you're using supply and demand, support and resistance, ICT, whatever. You can never not pay attention to chart patterns. Like that is a huge blunder for any trader who don't pay attention to like chart patterns. You must learn the patterns, whether you like it or not, you know. Like this. Let me show you.